Doug Karsch, Gators back. It is the Karsch and Anderson program, 248-539-9797. We've got open lines here on 97.1. Gator?
Doug.
We have somewhat mocked the NBA Cup because we think it's silly and contrived.
Mock the NBA Cup? What are you talking about?
You know,
it's the NBA Cup.
Now that the Pistons are good, my question is, would I like the NBA Cup more? And the answer is no, I like the NBA Cup less. Because the Pistons go 6 days between games so the league can get in at the NBA Cup.
This is true.
Because the Pistons didn't advance in the NBA Cup. So Saturday to Friday. Last game they played was Saturday night. And I keep forgetting. Every night I go through and I'm like, all right, let me go, because the Pistons are 19-5. They play a brand of basketball that's very attractive. And because of the stupid NBA Cup, which I think has moved the needle in the ever so slightest way, now is really starting to point to the negative for me, because I realized I don't really care about the contrived championship. And usually I wouldn't, okay, whatever, I'm not into it, doesn't mean it's not worth it. However, 6 days off. This sucks. They're good. I want to watch them play.
Yeah, I hear you.
I guess if they spin the 6 days into better play, like if the break does them good, like this December bye.
Well, I don't know how
I
they're
want to watch
spending.
them play.
I too would like to see them play. I hope that they get to spend. That it's not all like off time. That they get extra practice in, right, and extra run time with this group of players, because now it seems like they're almost, knock on wood, almost completely healthy at this point. Like, isn't Sasser back, and obviously Ivy's been back, and everybody's kind of back now. So getting that group time to practice together might be a really good thing while they're not participating in the NBA Cup.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, the two college teams in this state are standing out. The state of college basketball and the state of Michigan, state of college hockey, for that matter, Michigan State are both exceptionally good. I made a bold-ass prediction earlier in the week, and I may have to make a bit of a revision, Gator, but I predicted that Michigan would be 20-0 when they go up to East Lansing at the end of January.
Oh, my.
And I also had the thought cross my mind that it's not unreasonable that State will be 20-1. Wow. That they will not lose after the Duke game. So well, if you look at the schedule,
yeah,
here are the challenges. And one of the challenges that I listed was at Penn State. They both have to go to Penn State. Penn State got down 40 early in the second half at Indiana last night. Penn State is one of those teams that has a very impressive record, but their biggest win is like over an unranked Temple team or something. Like they haven't played anybody. I think the same is true of Washington, and both Michigan and Michigan State have to go to Washington. Now, maybe that Indiana game that Michigan State's hosting Indiana, maybe that becomes a bit of a roadblock between them and 20-1 at Nebraska. I think Nebraska might be like Penn State. You know, the teams in the Big Ten that have earned in the early going here that I've seen, and I haven't seen them all, but have really earned my respect are Michigan State, Illinois, and Purdue. Those are the ones that I'm pretty sure about. Indiana was awfully impressive last night, but they shot complete and total lights out. And I don't know if they're going to do that every night, but Gator, Michigan State are poised to be exceptionally strong teams and tough outs that come March.
Well, in some ways they're similar. Like, both teams play defense. Both teams put an emphasis on rebounding. And both teams embrace the team concept of basketball, that it's not reliant on one superstar player to get stuff done, and you have the also-rans on the team, or a couple of guys that are so much better than everybody else on the team. If one guy's hot and the other one isn't, you can get – no, these are two complete teams. They don't care who scores. They really don't. And it's exciting for both fan bases to sit there and watch it, because you can both be chesty about what you have. I mean, there's not can a player go out there and light another team up for 25, 35 points in a night? It can happen. But more than likely, you're going to see games where your high scorer has like 16 points, and your second scorer has 14, and your third scorer has 12, and you've got 5 guys that are in double digits, because they don't care who scores. They're buying into the team concept, and it's a selling point for both of the coaches. These are two very well-coached teams. Dusty May is a great coach. Tom Izzo is a legendary coach, and it's going to be fun when they meet up at the end of January, hoping, knocking on wood, that both teams can stay healthy.
Michigan last night did not shoot the basketball particularly well from the perimeter or the free throw line, and still beat Villanova by 28 points. And, when you talk about complaints, I thought they got sloppy with a 35-point lead. I mean, this is the type of thing. They were early in the second half, and Jason Benetti said Michigan has missed 6 2-point field goal shots the whole game. That was early in the second half. That changed as the half went on. But, it's a remarkable level of efficiency. And on a night where they didn't have their best shooting night, they still annihilated Villanova. Now, Villanova isn't ranked. Villanova isn't, right now being hailed as a Final Four threat.
No, but Villanova is a team that you expect to be in the tournament every year.
Yep.
So you'll take it. And, Michigan State losing to Duke over the weekend, I think it's safe to say Michigan State let that one slip by. They played Duke extraordinarily well in the first half, keeping Boozer in check, and then Boozer became Boozer in the second half. But the one constant was that Fierce just couldn't make a shot, which was unfortunate for Michigan State. It ended up that, coupled with some other things, cost them. But I was like, Duke's a test. It's always a test because Duke is always the team that everybody is penciling in the Final Four. Everybody, you can send that bracket out right now, and 90% of the bracket's going to have Duke in the Final Four. And that was a well matched up game. So I like where Michigan State's at. Michigan is at a very good place right now. They're playing better than anybody else in the country right now. And, there are 3 stud teams in the Big Ten and a 4th lurking with Illinois.
Yep.
We'll see how it all shakes out.
I haven't seen UCLA. They have a good record. I watched USC last night. They played San Diego and were trailing in the second half before they won relatively comfortably. They have a good record. But, I feel like there's Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois, Purdue, and maybe Indiana might be good. But anyway, Indiana's a football school. So we asked a Twitter question, what do you think is more likely? Because we have a lot to be chesty about in this state when it comes to basketball. Pistons to the NBA Finals, Michigan State to the Final Four, Michigan to the Final Four. It's weird because in college basketball, it feels like the measurement of success is based upon, a successful season. Getting to the semifinals is always considered a successful season, although everybody wants to cut down nets on Monday nights. Pistons to the NBA Finals, 7.5% of the vote. Michigan State to the Final Four, 17%. Michigan to the Final Four, 75.4% of the vote. Some of the feedback coming in from Dave Miller, I think this is the best Michigan team since the Fab Five. I don't want to sound too hyperbolic, but then I really think about it, and I think it's true. The thing is, there's a lot of basketball to be played. Like, nobody gets crowned champion in December. It's good progress report for both Michigan and Michigan State. You mentioned it already about staying healthy. A lot of basketball to be played.
Yeah.
A lot of basketball to be played.
But could be a lot of fun for both fan bases. So the state of Michigan looks pretty good right now.
It could, and the Pistons too, in the mix. Like, this is...
Well, they're the best team in the East by record right now. Second best record in the NBA.
Yeah. The NBA's also a long season. There's a long way to go. But you know what? I feel like Detroit is approaching this different than they did the Tigers. When the Tigers had the best record in the American League, I still think there was a lot of skepticism.
Is it smoke and mirrors?
Yep. I don't get that sense of people. I feel like the Pistons are being more embraced as authentic right now from our audience.
I think it happens that way because of the horrific injuries that have happened to some players for some key teams in the Eastern Conference specifically, that they're having to deal with that, which is what the Pistons had to deal with all last year. And the Pistons were good last year, not great. Well, now that they're healthy, they're playing great. And they are playing like they're one of the best teams in the league, so keep it up.
I got unrealistically hostile after the loss to Milwaukee last week.
Well, yeah, Giannis goes out of the game early, and you're thinking this is going to be a cakewalk, and it was not a cakewalk.
Not a cakewalk at all. And, they're starting to move up in things like the power rankings. ESPN has the Pistons as the number 3 team in the NBA. And they list every team's biggest weakness and the Pistons' biggest weakness. Actually, let's leave it out there. 248-539-9797. Corbin, can we get 10 texts up? Can we get 10 texts now? 10 texts. What do you think the Pistons' biggest weakness is listed by ESPN? Well, first 10 text. Tell us what you think it is and why. Make sure you sign your text. 248-539-9797. We will read the first 10 texts that come in. What do you think the Pistons' biggest weakness is right now? We'll get to your answers coming up straight ahead. Also, next hour, talk a little bit more Lions. Huge game coming up Sunday against the LA Rams. The number 1 seed in the NFC. Lions looking to get back into the Super Bowl conversation with a win on the road this Sunday. It is Karsch and Anderson here on 97.1.